Module 3, Policy Formulation Techniques and Approaches. Introduction to Policy Formulation. Definition and significance in the policy cycle. Difference between policy formulation and policy design. The role of policymakers, analysts, and stakeholders in the formulation process. Policy formulation models and approaches. Rational comprehensive approach. Systematic evaluation of all alternatives with full information. Incremental approach. Small, step-by-step changes to address policy problems gradually. Mixed scanning approach. Combination of rational analysis and incremental adjustments. Participatory and collaborative approaches involving stakeholders in co-creating policy solutions. Evidence-based policy formulation, using empirical data, research, and evaluations to guide decisions. Developing policy alternatives techniques for generating multiple policy options. Brainstorming, scenario planning, and foresight analysis. Considering short-term versus long-term consequences of each alternative. Integration of technical, financial, and social feasibility assessments. Evaluation criteria for policy options. Effectiveness, ability of the policy to achieve intended goals. Efficiency, optimal use of resources to achieve objectives. Equity and social justice, fair distribution of benefits and burdens. Feasibility, political, technical, institutional, and financial viability. Sustainability, long-term viability, and adaptability of the policy. Decision-making tools in policy formulation. Cost-benefit analysis, CBA. Comparing the total expected costs with benefits. Cost-effectiveness analysis, CEA. Identifying the most efficient way to achieve outcomes. Multi-criteria decision analysis, MCDA. Balancing multiple objectives and stakeholder priorities. Risk and sensitivity. Analysis, anticipating uncertainties and potential unintended consequences. Stakeholder engagement in policy formulation. Identifying and involving key actors throughout the process. Techniques for conflict resolution and negotiation among stakeholders. Building coalitions and consensus for enhanced policy acceptability. Addressing political pressures, interest group influence, and lobbying dynamics. Ethical and legal considerations. Ethical frameworks in policy formulation. Fairness, transparency, accountability. Legal constraints and regulatory compliance considerations. Balancing competing societal interests while adhering to ethical norms. Practical applications and case studies. Examination of successful policy formulation examples in health, education, economic development, and environmental management. Role-playing exercises simulating policy proposal development and negotiation. Critical evaluation of policy documents and proposals, lessons from policy failures to improve future formulation processes.